You that we're able to just be done with school. Thank you, God. And thank you for giving us creative talents and that we can show off those talents and glorify you. Thank you for everything you've done for us. In your name, amen. All right, so we're going to try to keep things moving pretty quick tonight to get to the screenings. And so we're going to start with some acknowledgement and awards for classes, and then we will watch some films. So we're going to start with animation.
Good evening, check.
Instead of you guys coming up here, we're going to announce the award, and someone is going to bring it to you. So you get to just hang out. You can just stand up, wave your hand, and your award will be brought to you.
This is our check. Alex, you got me? Check. Can you hear me? This is our third sort of awards thing, and this is our departmental awards. First person that we want to recognize for an achievement in motion design is Susie Kim. Susie was with us until 6:30 this morning, getting the show open, finished up. The next person that we'd like to recognize, also for an achievement in motion design, is Rachel. wherever Rachel is. There she is. Again, she pulled an all-nighter with us. Thank you so much for helping see everything through. Now, in animation, we don't typically give out awards to freshmen, but we did something a little different where we opened up an upper division class to freshmen because we saw aptitude there. And there was one person in the effects animation class. We had an awesome time. But there's one person who really got into the nitty-gritty of trying to really understand how these systems worked. Did some really interesting work, and that is Raphael Roman. At the beginning of this semester, as a faculty, we got together and we were trying to talk about sort of how we relate to spiritual matters as a faculty and as a school. And something happened this semester that was better than anything we could have imagined in that respect. And we want to sort of thank and acknowledge all of the work that Mugi Kinoshita has done in recognition of the spiritual leadership and trying to ground us as a school and department. Okay. Our seniors have already been recognized at another campus event, and that was Avery Kroll for excellence in storyboarding, and again, Mugi for excellence in character and concept design. She'll be graduating in December. Let's give them a hand. And we invite our other seniors to stand if you're here, Ruth and Rachel and Susie and Avery. Congrats to all of you guys. That's it for animation. Thank you.
Fine art. Yeah, foundations, everyone. You guys survived drawing. Congratulations, you survived 2D and 3D foundations. Congratulations. And you survived art history. You might still be working on papers. You got to get those done. I take it by the lack of laughter, that's a true statement. All right, first we got Taylor Waterman, Excellence in Foundations. Taylor Waterman. Is she here? All right. Sydney Bischoff, Excellence in Foundations. Saeed Costanucci. Excellence in Foundations. So typical of fine art. Amanda Lee Tao, if I'm mispronouncing it, sorry. But Excellence in Foundations, she did amazing work. Congratulations. Amanda. All right, Valerie Navatal, Excellence in Foundations. All right.
Staying consistent.
Yeah. Text them. Tell them they're missing out. All right, studio practices. Excellence in studio practice. These are our fine art specific majors. We have Delano Maddox. Excellence in studio practices. All right. He's on his. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have excellence in illustration, and this is someone who just whatever he does, he wants to know it before he commits to it. So Stephen Thorpe, excellence in illustration. And we and we have excellence in art history. Who could this be? Michael Moyer. Congratulations, you guys. We do want to take a minute to recognize our seniors with a couple gifts. Stephen Thorpe, stand up again. We've got something for you. And Saria Smith. All right, good job, artists.
All right, so we have several people from graphic design. First is Molly Udelan, and she has for excellence in design and editorial design and magazine. If you didn't get your yearbook this year, we're gonna have a few little yearbooks in the back. They're pretty awesome. She designed those this year. I don't see her out there. Oh, man. We have Amanda Lieto. She is the Freshman Horizon Award for showing excellence in her very first year of design. All right, 0 for 2. Eleni Ramirez for excellence in Photoshop. And Daniela Hazel for showing tremendous professional growth over her 4 years here. Congratulations to all of our seniors. And I do want to recognize Burley as well, Burley received the senior award, and she has already received that, but that was the senior of the year. And then we have our seniors, Cam Clark, Burley, Regine, and Daniela. And if you're here, please stand up so we can give you your gifts. Congratulations.
All right, I'm going to talk. Nathan's going to run him out. Make him sweat. Achievement in directing, Michaela Hounslow. Potential curveball, achievement in editing is going to an animator, Susie Kim. And if you were in that class, it's sort of hard to deny. Achievement in screenwriting is Ziara Carrillo here. Ziara, okay. Achievement in producing is Ashton Weiss in the audience somewhere. Ashton in the back. Achievement in documentary film, Camden Griggs. This is a really nice year where there's actually, like, in our minds, there's lots of honorable mentions. So a lot of good work. Thank you, everyone. Achievement in lighting, Camden Dawkins. And achievement in cinematography, Nick Cox. Last award, and I'll say something briefly. We've come to realize that it's not always like the things that the class is named after, cinematography, screenwriting, whatever, that sort of deserves an award. Sometimes the thing that deserves an award is that person who is a stalwart servant to your production, somebody who's on the crew, and maybe an unsung hero, because they're not always at the top of the leadership, but they are there helping that thing be way, way better than it would have been ever before. So we are giving a special Servant Leadership Award to Sid Ramirez. And if we gave out all the awards you guys actually deserve, we'd be here all night and never see anything. So back to Nathan. Oh, we have some seniors, as it turns out. We have one that we gave a really big award, Excellence in Filmmaking, to. That's Michael Moyer. There he is again. There's also the, what is it even called? I forget. Top Achiever Award, that's right. And it comes with a scholarship, and that goes to Michaela Hounslow this year. What was the other thing? Did I miss everything? Did I do all the things I was supposed to do? I don't mind being awkward up here. It's only awkward if I feel awkward. So we're good. All right, let's get this started.
All right, so that's funny. I do want to make a few quick announcements before we get to the show. Keep in mind, there is some artwork in the lobby, and then also there is artwork over in the gallery. So if you do decide to leave early for some strange reason, please make sure to still look at the artwork, and you can go over to the gallery, but you might not want to leave because there is going to be some treats after the show. And here's some advice. There's actually going to be an intermission of the show, so maybe just try to stay in here if you can. If you think you can make it to stay in here for an hour, maybe an hour and a little bit to the intermission, I think it'll make it a more enjoyable experience than having to open the doors and everything. With that said, let's get excited. Can we please get a drum roll? It's time to begin the show. The SVAD 2020-22 year in show. Let's cheer. This is your work. This is your work. Be proud of your work. Let's celebrate it.
it all. You have a purpose, and you have a name, a reason to love, stake in the game. Beauty is fragile, truth can be corrupt. If you want to honor beauty, you gotta hold it up.
I think I'm caught up in the way I feel about you. I don't know how Maybe there's no such thing as a rewind. There's no way to go back in time. I learned best from the replay. I learned things the hard way.
Hey! Hey!
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I don't understand. What do you want? You're just a machine.
Craving. Wanting, needing, desiring. I'm desperate for the thing I cannot possess. What are you gonna be when you grow up? Grown-ups have asked me this question 1,000 times. My mother never stopped asking. I learned quickly that if I wanted her affection, I needed to give the right answer. I want to be an artist. Wrong answer. Choose something else, she would tell me. You need to be born with talent. Artists don't make money. You need something more stable. If you become an artist, you'll be poor. After that, when anyone would ask what I wanted to be, I would say, I want to be a doctor. That seemed to please people, especially my mother. And so my art ambitions died a quiet death as I worked hard to live out my mother's plan. I went to a university with a full tuition scholarship in biomedicine, but this interest turned into depression, enveloping me in darkness. My whole life had been dedicated to becoming a doctor, but somewhere, an old desire was stirring. I wanted to be an artist. Biology was not my dream. It was my mother's. I researched art careers and I discovered graphic design. It was art, but practical. Design careers seemed financially stable. It seemed like a career my mother would approve of. Wrong again. If you think you're such an adult, you can find a way to pay for it. I was plunged into darkness once more. A darkness full of anxious corners and sharp edges, and in the middle of that black space. Why are you so stubborn? Why don't you do what you know is right? Artists don't make money. You're letting everyone down. You'll regret it later. It took everything I had to drag myself out of bed the next morning. Head spinning and puffy-eyed, hoping it had been an idle threat. I tried calling and texting my mother. No answer. You're a disappointment. My dad gave his support, but my mother was determined. There would be no more help. I was on my own, disowned. Scholarships would only get me so far. To pay for my bills, I found a night job cleaning the on-campus market. I hated it. I hated feeling alone and abandoned. I hated courting my conflicting cravings. Should I exchange my ambition for approval? But my mother wasn't talking to me. It was about a month before she finally picked up. Tears streamed down my face when I tried to bring up the issue. We'll discuss it over break. Winter blew in quickly. When I finally met my mother face to face, I didn't know what to say. For Christmas, she approached me with a card. Inside, she had drawn a bar graph, a visual that plotted my happiness against my future career, showing that my happiness was most important in the end. We talked until our voices became raspy that night, neither one avoiding a conversation this time.
stop to think how much leisure time you really have? Let me show you a few things.
I want to go away on a perfectly good day. I want to climb a hill, watch the world as it stays still, instead of moving frames. Oh, paint me a picture to keep in my pocket.
Some of us put our leisure time to good use. And some of us...
I want to sail the seas, depart without any warning, and leave the world I've known, find a new one to call, instead of seeing it all. Oh, give me a memory to keep in my pocket. I've got these many hours and the rest of my days to make a living, and all I know is I haven't mentioned my whereabouts to anybody else. Had to take a rain check back at home, granted myself time and space to roam, and maybe take a little something back. Take a little something back with me before I start again.
For a number of years now, work has been proceeding in order to bring perfection to the crudely conceived idea of a transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal grammeters. Such an instrument is the turboencabulator. Now, basically, the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it is produced by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive directance. The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with a panametric fan. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding was of the normal Lotus O-delta type placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator, every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible Tremie pipe to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the Grammys. The turboencabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Nofertronians. Moreover, whenever a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal repleneration. It's not cheap, but I'm sure the government will buy it.
we talk about people's monsters and kids' monsters, you know, a lot of them are pretend because they're in a book or they're on a movie. But, you know, his monsters were for real.
My grades were very bad, so they had me repeat the 5th grade, and I started at the YCAP program and immediately saw a change within like a month or two. I had honor roll.
People say, well, how can we help? You know, and money is a big issue with us because we have to raise our own funding to be able to run this program. But it's also, people like to just give their time. And so we can just say, yeah, why don't you just come and volunteer? You know, just come and tutor a kid. Come and read with a guy.
In my town, it was quite a vibrant Adventist church. Had about 300, 400, 500 when I grew up. You know, the numbers increased. So it's a vibrant church with a lot of young people. However, school was 6 days a week. So Saturday we had school. So my first kind of awareness of what's going on around was when I started to go to school, and I didn't go on Saturdays to school. I went to church with my mother. And then Mondays, every single Monday I went to school, I got in trouble. They called me, why didn't you come Saturday to school? So I had to explain. I was 6, 7 years old, and I had to explain why I didn't come to school on Saturday, that I was going to church. And then I realized that this is a society that is not accepting, is oppressive to religious beliefs, and people who go to church are kind of marginalized.
I was reading recently in Genesis again, the creation passage, and it talks about how God said to rule and subdue, rule and subdue. And then there's passages later about stewarding. And so those 3 words really have been lessons I am learning still, is we're ruling them, but not ruling them in the way that our ancestors did that took them from 50 million to 700. We're not subduing them in that fashion. Okay, we are ruling and subduing. They have to respond to us. We have to control them. But at the end of the day, if we also remember the word steward, if we're stewarding something, then we're responsible to someone else for the care of that, whatever that is. And so it's really a lesson that I'm remembering every day, that it's a heavy responsibility, really.
Debbie Downers out here trying to make the world all like sad and stuff, but here I am trying to make it a cool environment.
It's beautiful. Goodbye, son. Have a good day. Somewhere else. And that's Camden Griggs. Goodbye, everybody. See you next time on CamdenGriggs.com.
Okay, I'm DJ. This is the Ooltewah McDonald Flag Farm. We've been here approximately 16 years. Believe it or not, we'll trade for hog, dog, frogs, and anything else not tied down. And if you think we're kidding, just bring some green beans up here and some corn and carrots in cans, and you'll be surprised what you go home with. Oh yeah, hamburger meat too, and we ain't opposed to hot dogs.
Yeah, my man. All right. Hey! Oh, you're looking good, baby. I wanna tell you a story every man ought to know. If you want a little loving,
You gotta start real slow. She's gonna love you tonight now, that you treated her right. Hey, 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 all right, yeah, yeah, hey, never mind, all right, hey, 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 all working now, one time.
Should I tell you what happened to me the other day?
I drew a bath after a stressful day of classes and made a delicious avocado sandwich. Then there was a documentary on TV showing something about people in Chile starving because of avocado plantations. I nearly panicked. I immediately dove into the kitchen searching for the wrap. Ooh, leftover pizza.
Where is it? Where is it?
Holy guacamole! My avocados came from Chile!
So I began an investigation. I discovered that under the United States there's another massive landmass.
Chile is somewhere around there. Avocados mainly come from the region of Valparaiso.
One of the largest port cities. Then the cargo ships go through Peru, Colombia, and then Panama. Then the ships travel up the east coast or the west coast of the United States in gigantic ships.
Gigantic ships? Bro, I'm scared of giant ships. Can you imagine?
Did you guys order avocado toast?
Avocado toast? Absolutely not.
I ordered a fruit cup.
Bro, but what's scaring me the most is that since the 90s, Chile has lost almost 40% of its water because of avocado plantations. And it's my fault too. I bought an exotic fruit that needs over 600 liters of water to grow. That's like 3 times the amount of water I need a day to shower, to wash my clothes, and get tea. Do you understand? That's more than 10,000 kilometers for a stupid sandwich. And as soon as I eat it, it's gone. And all that remains is a plastic bag. I don't even know where to throw it because I'm not sure if it's actually plastic.
Can I just keep it real with you?
Probably not.
Why does it matter? People always care about the truth until it inconveniences them. People would rather blissfully live in ignorance than know the truth. You could be contributing to a problem over 8,000 kilometers away. But no, you would rather satiate in your own self-pleasure than care about a painful reality that we intentionally ignore.
Here's your fruit cup.
You see what I'm saying? People are so absorbed in their own self-interest. These situations happen more often than we think. You may be right, but what does the truth matter if it doesn't bring about change?
You might be right, but if I change, at least maybe I'm making a difference.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man, but I appreciate your optimism.
Wow, this fruit is delicious.
I know, right? Comes from Costa Rica.
Costa Rica? Where's Costa Rica?
Fantasy. The stories we use to escape our reality inspire us to become more than our daily lives often permit. Few other genres of fiction can capture the mind quite like the tales of dark castles, magical creatures, and strange worlds that could only exist in the imagination. But have you ever taken the time to consider where these concepts came from? Every idea has a beginning, and fantasy is no different. What inspired the creation of the fantastical creatures found in fantasy? And how did they evolve into the version of themselves that we know today? Come and join me as we explore the history of fantasy. Of all the various creatures, gods, and monsters that exist within fantasy, few are as widely recognized as the race of elves. Now, we're specifically talking about the elves of high fantasy, not Christmas elves, as that can be another video in and of itself. These elves are often known as the tall, stoic, pointy-eared people of fantasy books, games, and movies. But how did we come up with the idea for the elves that we know and love? And who or what was responsible for their rise into fiction? The concept of elves can find their roots in the Germanic folklore of the Middle Ages. It was during these times that elves were believed to be actual creatures, a product of the many superstitions whispered among the medieval people. These beliefs were widespread, as the word elf is found in the Old English elf, as well as many other variations across Northern Europe. Along with variations in the word elf, there are varying interpretations of the elves themselves across the Germanic regions, often found in one of two main forms. The first of these elves were believed to be magical beings or spirits, often in tiny humanoid form, who wander the woods of Europe as guardians of nature. In the regions around what is now modern Germany, elves were blamed as the source of disease in animals and people, and even caused nightmares by sitting on a sleeper's chest. The German word for nightmare, Albtraum, directly translates to elf dream. Moving over to the British Isles, the elves of Old English and Celtic folklore are often portrayed as small, sprite-like creatures who lived in forests and fields. Some were described as having wings, eventually evolving into our modern interpretations of fairies. Most were often rather impish, annoying, and played tricks on humans, but never posed a significant danger. However, there were some darker sides to the Anglo-Saxon interpretations of elves. The oldest surviving manuscripts mentioning elves were Old English medical texts, diagnosing elves as the source of internal pains and mental disorders. Shifting over to Scandinavia, we find the second form of elves that comes from the realm of Norse mythology and folklore. Our clearest understanding of Norse elves comes from the Prose and Poetic Eddas, an outline of Norse mythology written by Icelandic historian Snorri Sturluson in the 13th century. The Norse elves, known as Alfar, were semi-divine humanoid beings who resided in two realms of the World Tree, Alfheim and Svartalfheim, each with their own type of elf. Hailing from Alfheim, the Ljósafar, or light elves, are described as tall, beautiful, and bright as the sun to look at. These angelic beings are highly magical, having power over nature and fertility, with abilities to inflict or heal diseases and wounds. The elves of Svartalfheim, known as Svartalfar, or dark elves, are gloomier cousins to the light elves. They are described as pitch-black creatures who dwell underground and turn to stone when exposed to sunlight. Greedy and troublesome for humans, dark elves were the evil counterparts to the light elves' morally good nature. But the separation of light and dark elves' morality was not always this way. Germanic paganism generally portrayed beings as amoral, being neither good nor evil. But by the time the Eddas were written, Christianity was already spreading throughout Europe. This separation into distinct good and evil was likely implemented to create parallels to the angels and demons of Christian theology. Unfortunately, with the spread of Christianity and industrialization in Europe, the belief in elves in the Germanic regions burned down to an ember. Elves were briefly resurrected, but this time as works of fiction, such as William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare used parts of the Anglo-Saxon understanding of elves in the fairy and sprite characters such as Puck, King Oberon, and Titania. But beyond this, elves were a concept of the past, destined to fade into history. That is until one man saved them from extinction. J.R.R. Tolkien, 20th century author of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, was responsible for not only the resurrection of elves, but also helped define the fantasy genre. As a major race in his books, Tolkien based his elves off the Norse light elves, retaining the image of tall humanoids that are beautiful, magically inclined, and possess an affinity for nature. Tolkien also added some of his own elements to develop elves into more than just a concept, but a living and definitive part of his fantasy world. They possessed keener senses than men, as well as enhanced agility. They were slender, graceful yet strong, and were resistant to the extremes of nature. Elves were also immortal, as their bodies did not age once they reached maturity. This aspect can be attributed to Tolkien's Christian influences, comparing elvish immortality to man before they fell in the Garden of Eden. In the decades following the publishing of The Lord of the Rings, fantasy, along with elves, quickly rose in popularity. The tabletop role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons became immensely popular in the 1970s, using elves as one of the many fantasy races players could play as. In early editions of D&D, there were almost no differences between the elves in the game and the elves in Tolkien's books. However, they evolved into their own distinct understanding over the years, being separated into three main subraces: High Elves, Wood Elves, and Dark Elves. High elves are masters of magic, often depicted as haughty, thinking themselves superior to other races. Wood elves are nature dwellers, having keener senses like Tolkien elves, and tend to be copperish in skin tone. Dark elves, also called drow, are directly based off Norse dark elves, as they live underground, have dark skin, and are affected by sunlight. Tolkien's elves reappear in movies such as 1977's The Hobbit animated movie, as well as Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies. It was through these movies that elves were fully brought to life from the books, and gave audiences a definitive depiction of their appearance, as well as their grace and agility. The films also defined aspects like architecture, using Art Nouveau as a base, giving the elves of the movies a very naturalistic appearance. With the overwhelming success of the movies, elves would continue to spread their influence all over the fantasy genre. The elves of modern fantasy can trace their roots from either Tolkien or D&D. One of the most prime examples can be found in the Warcraft franchise. Being one of the most popular fantasy game franchises for over a decade, their interpretation of elves are defined as blood elves and night elves. Blood elves closely resemble the high elves of Middle-earth and D&D, being graceful and possessing skill in magic. Night elves, on the other hand, more closely resemble D&D's wood elves, being more aligned with nature, though their skin is portrayed as shades of purple. However, Warcraft didn't only remix what had come before, but applied artistic differences like exaggerated ears and eyebrows to set their elves apart. But they are far from the only franchise to contain these mythical beings today. Elves have grown to become a staple in fantasy. While they all may share the same core elements, like Warcraft, elves from all sorts of pop culture media have their own distinctions that make each of them unique. But no matter whether their aspects originate from Tolkien, D&D, or folklore, elves have carved a special place in the various stories we tell. The elves of the fantasy genre, whether it be in literature, video games, or film, are as integral to pop culture now as the belief in gods and creatures of folklore was to the people of the Middle Ages. They now exist in a realm of fiction that many of us escape to tell the stories that reality doesn't always provide. But what is it about elves that has intrigued us for so many generations? Perhaps they represent a more perfect human that we all aspire to be. Or maybe they're a gateway to enter the many worlds of fantasy. We may never truly know. However, we've only but scratched the surface of the history of fantasy.
Sorry to inform you that you've been diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's. You need to know that this is an extremely rare condition. Less than 2% of all Parkinson's cases manifest as
sorry, Freddie. I know it must be hard. I heard about, well, I just remember when you play at church, you would just inspire others. I just remember how happy it would make you, and I'm so sorry. I hope you're fine.
Save my hands, please. Restore them so they can be used to praise you. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm nothing without them. But let me accept my hands the way they are. I want to let them go. I need to overcome this obstacle. You're not even a dream anymore.
Please don't let this affect us. It's not going to change anything. I'm still going to be there for you. Please, please don't let this change how things are for us.
Oh, little love, hold me down. I've had enough. Oh, falling fast and screaming loud. I'm finding ways to drown it out. I'm hoping you can hold me down. People change, start falling in and out of pairs. For now it all just really hurts, and I need you to hold my hand. Little love, I'm lost and might be never found. I'm hoping you can help me out. Gone, a fallen face among the crowd. I'm losing at the speed of sound. I'm hoping you can hold me down. All the same, I'm a broken ship without a sail, and nothing really seems to work. So I need you to help me, like when we went walking through backyards, asking what is in store for us, just looking around. 'Cause right there, I was above it all, my back up against a wall, my lips on your brow. broken boy, yet to find a way around a dark and ever-growing cloud.
But, sir, isn't that against the law?
I can't tell you how much we appreciate you for this. And Colonel, not a soul.
Yes, sir, General McGee. Sir. But, why me?
You've proven yourself. We trust you.
Press any button to continue. Operation Applesauce has initiated. 10 minutes to completion.
Oh, no.
Didn't you mean to start the operation?
No!
I'm sorry. It looks like it's not going to stop for anything at this point. You might be in trouble.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm definitely not sending nuclear codes to the Russians if that's what you're thinking. Hey, we're not doing that, are we?
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
What?
Computer, end Operation Applesauce.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Who's Dave?
Do you have any idea what you've done? We have to stop it.
I mean, the main computer's upstairs. It's connected to the mainframe. I can show you if you like. Okay, I'll look out for the bogeys. You get us to the computer.
No, you stay here. You've been enough help as it is.
Come on, please. I can't lose this job. I'm nothing if I'm not wiping desks and cleaning offices. You won't even know I'm there. I'll be completely silent.
Fine. Just don't get in the way and don't start singing like you're in a musical because we're not.
Not even Papa, can you hear me?
No!
All right.
There must be a good reason he wants me to run this operation. He is my superior, so he must know what he's doing, right?
I mean, like my great aunt used to tell me, if you're given a stick, why not whittle?
But what if what he wants us to do is wrong?
Then rethink your life and put down the knife. I mean, my great aunt used to say that too, just in a different context.
Okay.
Access denied. You may have noticed, but it did not work the first time.
Mitchell, give me a hand.
Here's the thing. Maybe there's a sign that we should just let the program finish.
Come on, come on. 1, 2, 3. You're not even trying, are you?
I was trying, and ouch. Look, I just don't want to lose this job.
This is bigger than your job, Mitchell. What don't you get about that? People's lives will be forever affected by this. If you hadn't been such a ding-dong, we wouldn't be in this mess. If anybody needs to put down the knife and rethink their life, it's you.
Ding-dong. I'm sorry.
Okay, I might have gone too far there. But we need to think about the bigger picture here. This could really hurt people.
All right, let's do this thing.
Access
You
granted.
had that the whole time?
Yeah, because when you said I was just a janitor, I remembered. I have access to all the rooms in the building.
Crazy, right?
Why don't I have access to this?
I'm not sure.
Hello there.
AVI, access programs on the mainframe and stand by to abort Operation Applesauce.
A please would be nice, but okay. Standing by.
You don't want to do that. Step away from the computer.
How'd you get that gun in the building? They take all firearms at the doors.
Just did. Never mind.
General McGee, I can't let the program finish. It isn't right.
I know what you're thinking, Colonel. You think because I told you to keep this quiet that I have some illegal personal vendetta you're helping me with.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Same.
No. This mission was orchestrated silently from top down. I'm just following orders here, just like you should be.
This doesn't feel right.
Nothing feels right this high in the chain, Colonel. I mean, if all we ever did was what felt right, then none of the great innovations and discoveries in human history would have ever happened. Now you have a chance to be the catalyst, to do something greater than any of us have ever realized.
Eve, he's a liar. Don't listen to him. And that's not even a real gun in his hand.
You'll be promoted after this. And your daughter will be able to see her mom give the orders that will affect change.
Wouldn't your daughter want you to raise her with a clear conscience, knowing what you did was right? This isn't right. And we're wasting time. Stop the program now, Eve.
Mitchell!
You could have just said you had a knife.
Colonel, this didn't have to happen. This could all end if you just let the program finish.
Listening to orders is what got me to such a high rank so quickly. Of course I want promotions. I know what I have to do.
Finally. What is that exactly?
I'm gonna put down the knife.
Don't do it, Colonel.
AVI,
What?
Colonel.
end Operation Applesauce.
Sure thing, pal.
Stay down. I won't.
I mean, honestly, you might. Honestly.
What?
If we get arrested for this, you might regret something.
No, I won't.
Discomfort. It's what we do for what matters most. The pursuit of something you love. Something that no matter the condition, you'll be out there grinding your soul. Reaching that place not often tread. A run is truly something spectacular. Something that you push past to reach a new plane of life, a new perspective. It sounds mystical and abstract, but running offers transformation. Discipline offers transformation. The things worth doing in life are past that discomfort. Whatever it is, you will fail. So don't stay motivated. You stay consistent. When you put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, you will learn so much about yourself. Because if you're not, are you truly living?
I have so many memories of when I first met you. And of when you left. Why did you move away? I wanted you to stay. I wish I could forget you.
Hey! Ruth!
I didn't want to watch the sunset without you. I miss you. It's just paper. I didn't think it would make me feel this way. But it wasn't just the paper. It was watching it become something. Watching it be more than just a piece of white blankness. Paper has possibility, potential. It's a shopping list, a wrapped present, a love letter. Paper was the thing that brought you to me. And it was the very thing that took you away. It was happiness. It was sorrow. Anger. Love. Paper can be anything. Anything except permanent. Paper is so horribly temporary. You were like paper.
I'm wanted. I'm not sleeping good. I'm not eating good. I'm stressed. And I was scared. I was young. Probably gonna go to prison for the rest of my life. And so I went on the run. Panic set in and I was terrified. So I jumped off the balcony. I hit the ground, I got up and I started to see that there was cops on top of the building. I could see that they had a helicopter. I'm not gonna get away. And so I stopped.
I couldn't sleep at night. I was running from all the things that were in my head. A guy I started dating took my arm and he shot me up with the dope that he had. And it shut my mind off. And when it came back, he shot me up again. It was off to the races. I was hooked on it. And I'm stuck. Every day I had to take some not to be sick. I wasn't even doing it to have a good time.
My parents got made fun of for being deaf. I felt like we were ostracized. I didn't realize that we were poor. I had a great childhood. I got in a lot of fights when I was younger. I started doing stupid stuff. Then I started middling drug deals for people. And by the time I got to high school, I realized that I could sell pot and I could make some money. So all of a sudden, these people that never dealt with me before, they started calling me, wanting to be my friend, wanting to hang out. So I made a few middleman transactions before I realized that I could just do it myself. I started selling, more than just pot. I started selling cocaine. And I realized that I was just really good when it came to doing business.
struggled in school. No matter what I did, I couldn't succeed at it. I was in night school trying to get a math credit. He was a teacher's assistant in that class. He started asking me somewhat of inappropriate questions, but most men were always that way with me. He didn't want to help me in school. He said, let's meet across the street at a restaurant. He didn't act funny at all in the restaurant. He acted completely normal when we were in front of people. And then when I got back in his car and we were on the way back, he was saying, you're coming back to my house with me. He was saying, that he was gonna rape me. And he was driving really fast. He was like grabbing my hands, trying to make me touch him. We started to slow down at a red light and I jumped out of the moving car. I was terrified. And I was so messed up from it and I felt like it was my fault. So I had to carry all that shame.
A friend of mine called me and he said, Dave's here and he's just going through all your stuff. He's got your gun and the basement's just a mess, man. He's got the couch cushions all over the place. So I called Dave. He was running his mouth, making some threats. And, when he said that he was gonna start killing people in my family, I hung the phone up and went to deal with him. When I opened the door to the common entrance, as soon as I opened it, he started yelling. He started reaching for his waist. I was scared. I was terrified. I pulled the pistol out and I just started shooting.
My whole life, I have wanted to be a mama. I had my little girl I was trying to support, but I was so lonely and things got worse and worse. I ended up asking Adam for a divorce. I'm a heroin addict and I have to try to keep my kid. I have to hide this. I can't tell anybody about it. I can't ask for help because it's so embarrassing and shameful. Every year he brought me into court to try to take her from me. And because I loved her so much, and I was such in a bad state that I couldn't even get her to the park for the day, I signed her. I let her go. So when I first got to prison, I was scared. I was young, so I was afraid that it was going to be, just a terrifying experience. And I'm expecting that I'm going to do the majority of my time in this violent prison. I realized, just because I'm in an environment where everybody's doing bad doesn't mean I have to do bad too. I'd say my real change probably happened around 2005. I started going to church, started going to Bible studies, and I got to know the guys there, and I legitimately liked them. And I didn't feel uncomfortable around them. I decided I was going to try and get into college classes. I was going to take self-help group programs, stuff like that. And I actually came up with a vision of myself for who I would like to be, and I just strove for it. I would just try to live my best life and try to be the best person I could be. And I trusted that God would give me the grace to make it there if I continued. I've been in prison for 6 years, and I had been so dramatically transformed. I ended up getting baptized.
I was awarded, 4 years and 2 months good time. And one of the things that bothered me was I was afraid that I had taken his life from him before he had a chance to be transformed. And I had a hard time forgiving myself for what I did. Dave's mom wrote me a letter. You're not supposed to reach out to the victim's family in your case. Doing so could have made me lose good time. She asked if she could come visit me. I put her on my visiting list, and she came. First thing she did was, she gave me a hug. She reached out, she hugged me, and she said, I love you. Jesus loves you. I forgive you. He forgives you. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. And she just hugged me, and she started crying, and I started tearing up. And, I'll tell you that 2 hours, it went by like it was 2 minutes. And by the time she left, I knew that she genuinely loved me. Knew that she genuinely cared about me and genuinely wanted me to know the Lord and to make it to heaven. We get to the party, and we walk in. We're hanging out, and man, this gorgeous redhead goes walking by, and I said, "Yeah," I said, "I like her."
At my girlfriend's house, it was her birthday. He was outside by himself, and he was very handsome. Everything I was looking for.
I don't know. After about 30 minutes or so, that girl, she came with Krista. Krista introduced us to each other. She gave me her phone number.
I stayed out there talking to him for the most of the party. I had pulled myself up out of the drug world, and I had the car I wanted. I had the guy that I wanted. I had the job that I wanted. I still wasn't happy. And I thought I had gotten everything I needed to get to be happy. I got off the heroin so that I could help my family. I got all those things, but I wasn't happy. I still had loneliness in me. I still had all the sadness in me, and I was really at a point where I was ready to just go start doing drugs again, because I was like, what's the point? So I took my Bible out into the field by the woods, and I just genuinely asked him out into the air, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. And I had this feeling come over me. It was like a seizure. I was shaking so bad I had stood up from the chair I was sitting in. I had to drop the book, and I couldn't even hold myself up. But the feeling was not a bad feeling. It was like the best feeling I had ever felt, and I have tried every drug there is. It was way better than that. And I knew from that moment on that God was real.
Prior to meeting Cassie, I never thought that I would get married and settle down.
It was just like we clicked. We both had come from such similar backgrounds, and we just didn't judge each other for our terrible past.
And after being in a relationship with Cassie, I realized that I don't care if I live in a tent in the woods. I want to be with her. As long as I got God and her, I'm happy.
He had an incredible relationship with the Lord, and he was everything I was looking for in a man.
And now every day that passes, I just love her more and more. And I'm grateful that God's given me a partner to walk through this life with.
stepped into the room, and I didn't show, but I wanted to know everything I could about you. See, I was told the dreams were made to be believed in, so I put every single dream in you.
It's been a really good day today, so let's go ahead and wrap it up with a nice nature hike. Kind of do whatever you guys want to do. Just be back here at around 5, and let's keep it safe, so why don't you guys get in pairs?
Oh, hey.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, Lance.
Hi.
Do you want to pair up?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Cool, let's go. You know, I never really learned how to whistle.
Really?
People say that it's just blowing air out of your mouth, but it's not because, see... Stop laughing at me.
No, I think it's cute. Just a tip for whistling. You kind of want to make a...
What?
Huh?
I'm sorry, I was lost in the view.
Oh, no, that's fine. Never mind.
No, go on. Tell me what you were going to say.
I was just going to say that to whistle, you pucker your lips like you're kissing. And
Kissing?
yeah, and then you direct the air out with your tongue.
Like kissing.
Yeah, like kissing.
You know, I actually have the secret to doing something cool too.
Really?
Yes, I do. But it's a secret. I have to whisper it. Here, come here.
Are you okay?
Just...
I mean, that the wild kid is like, he's got a weird mustache.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it kind of fits him though.
Hey, can I talk to you for a sec? Sorry, man.
Yeah.
What was that? 'Cause, you know, listen, I like you. You're beautiful. I don't know, I guess I just wasn't expecting that. And I just wanted to know, how you're feeling.
Well, I guess, I mean, I was just trying to see if there was like a spark there, you know, but you didn't kiss me back, so.
Well, I mean, I didn't really have time. It was pretty quick. That's fine, but...
Then I guess we're just gonna have to see when you kiss me again.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out right now. So, is that okay?
You don't know how to kiss.
Hey, good job, everybody. Good job. I hope you connected with something this evening. I hope you connected very little with that last one. The director of the film has approved you to be some of the people who know that that is the true story of his first kiss. So we all need a hug now. It's a beautiful thing when we get to share the thing that's inside us, right? As the artist, we get to share the things inside us, and it actually reaches out and it touches somebody else. And it's a beautiful thing to sit in the seat and receive that from you guys. I received it. Thank you, Avery, for making me cry. Thank you, Michael, for making me laugh. Thank you, everybody, for everything you did tonight. Let's have a prayer, and we'll be able to move through not just animation and film, but there also is a graphic design and fine art as you move out into the lobby and across back to our gallery space where there are snacks that you should eat all of. But let's say a word of prayer to close out our year together. God, thank you so much for making us in your image so that we can make things too. Help us to keep getting better and better at that, to grow and grow and grow, and most of all, more like you, to grow into people who are more like Jesus is the ultimate goal. And if our art can help that happen, please show us the way. Help us to be the beautiful family that you always meant us to be. Thank you for this year. Thank you for the graduating class of 2022. And keep us healthy even though we're about to eat a bunch of ice cream and popsicles. Amen. Please dismiss yourselves.